let's do some watch this jerks.
Sure. I watched a documentary.
You
I
did.
watched a new documentary that Chibi mentioned to me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna look that up and watch it." And that was the Reggie Jackson documentary on Amazon Prime called Reggie.
It's just called Reggie.
It's just called Reggie, and it's about the life and times of one Reggie Jackson. It's
I remember
interesting.
Idol?
What?
From American Idol.
Well, yeah,
The judge.
yeah, the judge, not Randy Jackson.
The only baseball I watched as a young child was when Reggie Jackson was at bat. My dad would call me into the room and say, Reggie's up. And he'd either strike out or hit a home run. And then I would go to bed. That's how it worked.
You know, when Reggie Jackson played for Oakland, his first 3 seasons, he only made about $20,000 a year playing baseball.
He was on Howard Stern promoting the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
That was his choice. He's a big fan of Howard. So he went on there, and it was an amazing interview just to hear about all the racist shit that he went through. And he really calls a lot of people. He called a lot of people out in the interview. I don't know about the documentary, but
he does in the documentary too.
Okay. If I can convince Shima to watch that,
he was the league MVP and won a World Series, and that year he couldn't convince the owner of the Oakland A's to pay him $50,000 a year. A year.
They didn't want to pay a black guy that much. It set a bad precedent, I think.
Yeah,
right?
And then he went to the Yankees, and George Steinbrenner paid him $3 million for 5 years. And it was the biggest big contract in baseball up to that point. And he won the World Series the first year. That was
worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, I guess baseball players are worth this kind of money. Like that kind of started that whole, baseball players, if you pay them a lot.
Right, it's worth it. It could be worth it. It
might be worth it.
Or not, as you'll find out too. Someone in the chat wants to know if you're going to the Reds game tomorrow.
I am not, day. No. So 3 of our top 4 players, salary-wise, will not be playing on opening day. One of them is, of course, Joey Votto, who is recovering from an injury. The other 2 are Mike Moustakas, who we just cut because he sucked, and Ken Griffey Jr.
Wait, what?
We are still paying.
Oh, wow. How old is he?
50 something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks his age. I know because I just saw him in MLB The Show when I played a little bit of that just last night. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay, he looks fine. He looks fine for a 50-something-year-old man.
Yes,
right?
He does not look like he's ready to play for the Reds tomorrow, though.
But he could. He's getting paid. 4th highest paid player on the team currently.
How does something like that work out? Because I can't even.
Because the contract is like they pay him X amount a year for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, they defer it because Cincinnati could never afford to pay a Ken Griffey Jr. in his prime, right?
So they promise the money even after he retires?
Are you not familiar with Bobby Bonilla Day?
Yeah, but I thought that was something else, though. I thought that was just they had to buy out his contract.
No, it's the same type of thing. We just have Ken Griffey Jr. Day here.
Oh, okay. Got it. Enjoy it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you watching?
We had Ken Griffey Jr. here.
Right.
Yeah, that World Series you won with Ken Griffey Jr.?
His dad. we won some with his dad.
Nice. Is that more Pete Rose's fault, though?
I mean that Reds team in the 70s was kind of loaded. I don't know.
I know. I've heard many stories of that Reds team in the 70s because that's when my father was living in Cincinnati.
Yeah, so I'll go to a couple games this year just because I feel like it's Joey Votto's probably last year, and I want to see him play again. And I don't know. There's a Mandalorian bobblehead night. I might go to that.
That seems worth it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, but Reggie's good.
Yeah. Love Reggie.
You know what else is good, Wombat?
What?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Is that movie? I mean, I've seen it.
No, it's not.
That's a good movie still.
Is it?
No, it is. So we're watching through all of the Harry Potters now with my kids. Right?
Do you say the trans pledge before watching each one?
He has to.
Yes. Yeah, of course. What was it? Trans or
Trans
okay
rights
by
or
me?
human rights. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Just call Wombat.
Exactly that.
Just call Wombat right before
What is it again? I'm supposed to say, Wombat.
Put him on speaker.
I know what I feel in my heart. I just don't know the words that I'm supposed to say.
That's fair enough.
It's a spell. It's like a spell.
It's fine. It's fine.
Right. I don't know the incantation that I'm supposed to repeat here.
Revelio.
It's fine.
No, but
anyway,
Prisoner of Azkaban, I think it might be my favorite Harry Potter movie.
It has a good twist.
It's got several good twists, and it's brisk, right? There's no like downtime in that movie.
You know why? Because they're a little older in that
definitely.
one. Like that's the first one where they're old enough to do something. Because before that, they're still kids, and in this one, they're like not really kids.
And the first two are like establishing the universe too, right? Like they are building on those first two, and then this one, like that second movie is like almost 3 hours long, and you're just like, oh yeah, we get it. Like move this along a little bit here. And the third movie is just like I think right under 2 hours, and there's just like a ton of stuff that they cram in there. So well done, Harry Potter.
But not J.K. Rowling. Maybe?
Mm.
Yeah. What else?
Well, while you're rewatching that with your kids, my son and I have started a rewatch of the Mission Impossible movies because he's never seen any of those. And we started this week with Mission Impossible 1. And let me tell you, besides the fact that Tom Cruise looks like a baby in that movie, because it's longer ago than you may think it has been, almost 30 years ago. Crazy. That movie holds up. That is a good movie.
Aren't you supporting Scientology by watching that?
Yes, I'm a big. My thetan level needs to go down, which is why we're decided to watch that.
Because like he gets the money and he just gives the money to Scientology.
He might. I think he already has the money from Mission Impossible 1. I don't think he's making any more money from that movie.
Maybe.
I don't think me watching that movie on.
He owns a piece of that though.
I'm sure he does, but I'm sure my Paramount Plus subscription watch through doesn't help in any way. I didn't buy the movie. I already have it on a streaming service.
How does the U2 song hold up?
It's fine. Is it U2 that does the theme, or is there a U2 song in it? No,
it's like two of the guys from U2.
Yeah, it's the Edge and isn't Brian Eno? It's Brian Eno who does the remix.
Okay, and Edge.
Yeah, and Edge with Edge. Yeah.
Okay.
Brian Eno and the Edge.
I had the single, I think, back in the day.
It was TV. It's a pretty cool single. I mean, but there's the scene in the very beginning at the restaurant, the aquarium restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
My son didn't see that coming. And it's kind of cool to watch a movie like that with a scene like that so well with someone who doesn't know it's coming, and it really holds up. Like the grandeur of that practical effect is pretty outstanding. And if you haven't seen that movie in a long time, it's totally worth watching.
If you've never seen a fish use a rocket launcher before, it's really impressive.
It's basically
right on the fish shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Lots of broken glass and water.
Nice.
It's very cool. That, and of course the hanging and down scene in the.
It's right up there with like right behind Matrix for the scene that's been recreated and so many spoof things.
Exactly.
Spoofs, yeah.
That to see where it came from, it's almost like, oh, it opens up your brain to things, because my son's seen most of that in reverse. So
you saw a guy going from the floor to the ceiling.
Yeah, he said going for Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, this makes much more sense.
So I'll probably watch Mission Impossible 2 this weekend. It'll be very exciting.
Awesome. We watched and finished the new Waco documentary on Netflix called Waco American Apocalypse.
Okay.
The cool thing about this one is they have people who were in the building at the time.
I thought they were all dead.
They weren't all dead. Some people got out like right before. And they have a lot of footage. And they have they have all the cops who are on scene.
Did they divide the branches to get out?
No.
They're Branch Davidians.
Yeah. Isn't it named after, because the guy's name was David? Isn't that why it's Davidian?
David Koresh.
Right. I think that's what it comes from. I'm not sure though, because they didn't say that, but Anyway, it's really like I've seen that the one that came out in the 90s, Rules of Engagement, which is really good. But this is like only 3 episodes, 50 minutes each. Not a waste of your time. Interesting to hear the perspective from like the snipers on the scene at the time.
How depressing is it?
It's not depressing. It's just.
Is it more informational than
feel
good time?
It's not. It's more like, wow, they have all this footage and they can analyze it, and and the stuff they don't have, they recreate. So it's just.
Do they paint Janet Reno as a bad guy?
She's
or
barely
a good guy?
in it. She's barely. It's really not about any of that. It's mostly just about listening to the people who were involved with it on either side.
I just remember Saturday Night Live playing it off all as a big joke.
Oh, a lot of people died.
With Will Ferrell as Janet Reno.
Oh,
I know,
wow.
and they played it for comedy at the time. It was, I guess, okay to make fun of that.
Right. I mean, I don't want to ruin anything for anyone who's going to watch it, so I won't really say anything else about it. But it's
Who
well done.
know? Are there people that don't know?
No, I mean, just like the conclusions that you can draw from watching it. That's all.
Gotcha.
Not plot points or anything
okay.
like that.
I watched that Leonard Cohen documentary. I think that Wombat.
Oh, the Hallelujah one.
Yeah,
that
was slow.
It's slow. It's informative, but yes,
it's very informative. But it's like, I don't know. I was dozing off a little bit in parts, and I'd wake up and be, all right, we're still talking about this.
Yeah, it's a lot of talk about Judaism, so you have to kind of be ready for that too. They talk about, like, he writes half his songs are like how he's a Jew. He writes, that's what the original version of Hallelujah with the original lyrics were all religious.
What's a song that he wrote that's about being a Jew? I'm just curious. Not that I don't believe you.
I don't know the names.
Or like a lyric that talks about.
Like
I'm just
that
curious.
that whole album was all about spiritual Judaism.
Oh, okay. Not like the Jewish experience, like people throwing rocks at him and stuff.
No. It was just about spirituality and religion, and he was very into.
Oh, okay.
He was a proud Canadian Jew. I don't know. What do you want from me?
He was also into Zen as well, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is that? That's not even real.
You get your. I don't know.
He lived on a mountaintop.
You like meditating?
Meditating.
Oh, okay.
And he had I don't know, not a sensei, Raji, or I don't know what that.
Okay.
Called. I don't know this. I know less about this than I do about Judaism.
Yeah. Interesting guy. He's
cool.
an interesting guy. But
okay.
It was a good documentary. I liked the second half of it a lot more than the first half, where it actually got into like the cultural significance of the song, and that was more interesting to me.
Yeah, the first half is about him, and the second half, once it gets it,
good song.
The stuff about the song, it's just fascinating because, again, it's a song that was never supposed to be released.
It did not get released in the U.S.
Yeah, it did not
get to be released, but
it did not get released in the U.S. That's become a ubiquitous song that everyone knows, and that does not happen very often, if ever.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. You know what that means? It's time for everybody's favorite game show, Wombat Acting Poorly. That's right, it's the game show where Wombat reads famous lines for movies and you guess what the movie is. Oh man, are you ready to throw down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh wow. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, GBD. We'll be playing 4 different quotes read by a Wombat, and let's see if who can just shout out the answer as soon as you can. Okay. I think Wombat is heavily favored in this one.
I don't know. My memory is shot, so go for it.
Let's see how it goes.
It's a hell of a thing killing a man. Take away all
Unforgiven.
he's got and all he's ever gonna have.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hell of a
Question
thing
number 2. Shipwreck, you're gonna have to really jump in there.
I'm not gonna
You're not gonna get any of these?
movie. I'm not gonna get any of these.
Okay, you might get this one.
Well, baby, me so horny. Me so horny. Me love you long time.
That is Full Metal Jacket.
All right, Chip. If you get the next 2, you can come back.
I'm not gonna get. I've seen all these movies. I'm not gonna remember any of this.
Why, Johnny Ringo? You look like someone just walked over your grave.
Tombstone.
Yes.
Yes.
Chip. Come on. Don't worry. We do have a tiebreaker just in case. This is going to be tough. I don't know that either of you'll get this. Let's find out.
Okay.
Ho, ho, ho. Well, if it isn't fat, stinking Billy Goat, Billy Boy, and Poison, how art thou, thou globby bottle of cheap, stinking chip oil?
Don't look at the chat.
Come and get one in the Yarbles if you
Don't
have
look at the
any
chat.
Yarbles.
Look at my eyes.
Yeah, if any Yarbles you nug jelly, though.
The end got a little shitty.
I'm so yeah.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
It's Clockwork Orange.
And
And that's actually the best read out of all of them. That almost
You couldn't
sounded.
give him a British accent on that one?
yeah.
Is there enough
I
Wombat
want to
British
hear the
accent?
tiebreaker.
Okay, the tiebreaker. Yeah. I don't have any after this. So here's the tiebreaker. Right here.
Waste makes haste, for time is fleeting. A rolling stone is worth two in the bush.
Tough.
I know, and I feel like I know that one
I don't
too.
think you
and
can
it's-
get it.
I don't know.
Chip, any guess?
No.
It's not like Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross,
No.
is it? No.
Wrong direction.
It's
It's a sequel?
RoboCop 2.
Yes.
There it is.
It was in the commercial for the movie.
Oh.
He does, he's malfunctioning. All right, good job, everybody. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, hope you enjoyed Wombat Acting Poorly. I'm your host, GBD. We'll see you next time.